If you've spent any time online lately, you've probably seen Texans arguing about which cities actually count as the Big Four. Some swear it's Houston, Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio, while others insist Fort Worth deserves a seat at the table. It's one of those debates that never really ends, because every Texan believes their city is the one that defines the state. The funny part is, they're all a little right and a little wrong. Every city in Texas carries its own kind of swagger, whether it's business, music, food, or football. But if we're being honest, there can't be 5 major cities. The list has to stop somewhere, and figuring out which ones truly make the cut is where things get interesting. Where debate ends and data starts. This conversation pops up every few months, usually when someone posts a map ranking Texas metros, or when population stats get updated, then the comment sections explode. People start arguing about airport sizes and barbecue. And before you know it, someone's comparing Austin's tech growth to Houston's oil dominance. It's entertaining, but most of the time, no one ever uses real data. That's what we're going to fix today. Instead of just shouting opinions, we're actually going to find out which 4 Texas cities stand above the rest, based on measurable impact, cultural presence, and a few human factors that make cities feel alive. To do that, I've done the research. We're looking at population growth, metro economies, airports, skylines, sports teams, and even cultural reach. These are the things that define a city's influence, not just how many people live there. I've crunched the numbers, compared maps, looked at federal data, and even checked the latest urban development reports. By the time this is over, you'll have a clear picture of what makes a Texas city major, and maybe a new reason to defend or challenge your hometown's spot on the list. The goal isn't to start another argument. It's to finally settle one. Because the truth is, the idea of major has changed. Texas isn't just about oil fields and cowboy hats anymore. It's tech startups, global trade, diverse culture, and millions of new residents showing up every few years to chase opportunity. So whether you're watching this from downtown Dallas, a Houston suburb, an Austin co-working space, or a San Antonio cafe, get ready. Because by the end, we'll know which 4 cities really represent modern Texas. And fair warning, the final pick might just surprise you. How we'll actually decide the 4 major Texas cities. Before picking favorites, it's worth asking what major even means in Texas. Sure, Houston and Dallas are huge, but size alone doesn't make a city great. Texas is expanding faster than almost anywhere else, and each of its big cities, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, and San Antonio, brings something different to the table. So rather than arguing on instinct, this breakdown uses clear, fair criteria to reveal which ones truly stand above the rest. Where numbers meet identity and ambition. Population is a starting point, but it's only part of the story. Economic weight shows where opportunity lives, where major companies plant roots, and where innovation thrives. Cultural impact adds flavor. From Austin's creativity to Houston's diversity and San Antonio's heritage. Skylines speak to ambition, proving which cities are growing both upward and outward. Connectivity and sports round it out. The biggest airports and most active teams show how cities represent Texas nationally and globally. So by combining population, economy, culture, skyline, infrastructure, and sports, the full picture starts to emerge. The cities that appear again and again across these categories aren't just big. They're the heartbeat of modern Texas. Population power. Population is the first thing people bring up when debating the biggest Texas cities, and it's easy to see why. Texas keeps breaking growth records, pulling in more new residents than any other state. But the real question isn't whether Texas is growing, it's which cities are leading that charge. Houston remains the largest city, home to more than 2.3 million people and over 7 million in its metro area. It's a global hub that keeps expanding in every direction. Dallas-Fort Worth, though, is right on its heels. The DFW Metroplex now tops 8 million residents, recently passing Chicago to become the fourth largest metro area in the United States. That growth comes from a mix of corporate relocations, tech jobs, and suburbs spreading for miles. San Antonio holds steady as the second largest city by population within city limits, with about 1.5 million residents and a metro area that keeps expanding at a healthy pace. Austin, meanwhile, is the wild card. It just crossed 1 million people in the city and is closing in on 2.5 million in the metro area, making it one of the fastest growing cities in the country. Fort Worth also deserves a nod. It's pushing toward the 1 million mark, proving it's no longer just Dallas's sidekick. Population alone doesn't decide which cities are major, but it does show where the energy is. Houston and Dallas dominate by scale. Austin surges by speed, and San Antonio thrives through steady, grounded growth. Texas's population boom isn't just about numbers, it's about momentum, identity, and how each city turns that growth into real influence. The economic weight of Texas cities. When it comes to defining a major city, nothing speaks louder than economic power. Texas is an economic giant, and each of its major cities fuels a different part of that machine. Houston is the global leader in energy and trade, powered by one of the busiest ports in the country, and the massive Texas Medical Center. Its metro GDP consistently ranks among the top in the United States, showing how deeply it drives national industry. Dallas-Fort Worth thrives as the state's corporate capital, home to more Fortune 500 companies than almost anywhere else in the country. Its diverse economy, from tech to finance to aviation, keeps it expanding faster than most U.S. metros. DFW International Airport connects it directly to global business, giving the region unmatched accessibility. Austin's story is all about innovation. Once known mainly for music and college life, it's now the tech heartbeat of Texas. The city's startup scene, along with major campuses from global tech giants, keeps fueling new jobs and investment. Its creative economy makes it one of the most dynamic metros in America. San Antonio plays a quieter but vital role. With deep roots in military, healthcare, and tourism, it's built steady, long-term growth. Its balance of tradition and modern development makes it one of the most stable economies in the state. Together, these cities prove why Texas stands at the center of America's economic map. Each one dominates a different lane, but all four power the state's momentum. From energy and enterprise to innovation and endurance. Cultural clout. The heartbeat of Texas identity. Numbers show how big a city is, but culture shows who it really is. Texas cities aren't just competing in size. They're shaping how the world sees Texas, from music and food to art and lifestyle. Every major city has a unique cultural fingerprint that defines the state's personality. Austin leads with creativity. It's the music capital of Texas, fueled by live shows, festivals, and a thriving arts scene. The city's blend of tech and creativity has turned it into a cultural hub where innovation meets authenticity. Houston's strength is its diversity. Few cities in America blend as many cultures, cuisines, and languages as seamlessly as Houston. Its food, art, and nightlife reflect a global identity that still feels distinctly Texan. Dallas mixes tradition with polish. It's stylish, confident, and filled with cultural energy. From major art districts and museums to a bold music and fashion scene, Dallas carries the modern Texas look. Ambitious and unapologetic, San Antonio keeps the heart of history alive. Its festivals, architecture, and food traditions tell the story of Texas itself. It's where heritage and hospitality meet progress, giving the city a timeless identity that resonates beyond state lines. Together, these cities define Texas culture. Austin brings creativity. Houston adds diversity. Dallas projects confidence, and San Antonio grounds it all in history. Their blend gives Texas its global character: bold, expressive, and unmistakably original. Skylines and symbolism. The vertical identity of Texas. A skyline isn't just architecture. It's confidence made visible. It's the first thing travelers see and the lasting image people remember in Texas. Skylines tell stories of ambition, innovation, and pride. Each major city has crafted its own silhouette against the sky, and those outlines say a lot about what kind of power each city holds. Houston's skyline dominates the Texas horizon. It's home to more than 50 buildings over 500 feet tall, including the iconic J.P. Morgan Chase Tower and the sleek Williams Tower that glows at night like a monument to modern energy. The city's vertical reach reflects its role as a global business center. Bold, expansive, and constantly evolving. Houston's skyline feels like a symbol of movement. Always under construction, always growing taller, Dallas takes the second spotlight with its polished skyline that blends style with strategy. The green glow of the Bank of America Plaza and the angular design of the Reunion Tower make it instantly recognizable. Dallas has one of the most photogenic downtowns in the country, representing wealth, design, and corporate sophistication. It's a skyline built to impress, mirroring the city's balance of ambition and elegance. Austin, once known for its modest mid-rise buildings, now boasts one of the fastest changing skylines in America. New residential towers and tech-driven developments are transforming the downtown core, with some of the tallest skyscrapers in the state now standing near Lady Bird Lake. The skyline is a visual metaphor for Austin's rise. A creative city turning into a major player while still keeping its local charm, San Antonio's skyline tells a different story. One rooted in heritage and identity rather than height. The Tower of the Americas stands as a proud symbol of the city's connection to both its past and its progress. Low-rise buildings and historic architecture create a skyline that's instantly familiar yet deeply authentic. San Antonio proves that a city doesn't have to scrape the clouds to stand tall in character together. These skylines form the visual language of Texas. Houston's power, Dallas's confidence, Austin's momentum, and San Antonio's soul. They're not just collections of buildings. They're symbols of how each city sees itself and how Texas continues to reach higher. One tower at a time. Sports and representation. Where Texas pride goes pro. Few things unite Texans like sports. Whether it's Friday night lights, a packed stadium on Sunday, or a playoff run in the middle of summer, every major city in Texas carries its pride onto the field. Sports aren't just entertainment here. They're part of civic identity. The teams, the rivalries, and the championships all help define how each city represents itself on a national stage. Houston stands tall in the sports conversation. The city is home to the Texans, Rockets, and Astros. A full lineup across football, basketball, and baseball. The Astros' dominance in recent years has turned Houston into a championship city, while the Rockets' legacy and the Texans' massive fan base keep the energy alive year-round. The city's deep sports history matches its larger-than-life personality. Dallas lives and breathes sports culture. The Cowboys are one of the most recognizable brands in the world, often called America's team. And their impact goes beyond football. The Mavericks, Stars, and Rangers all bring national attention. And with recent baseball championships, Dallas-Fort Worth has proven it's a complete sports powerhouse. Every season feels like another chance for North Texas to show off its competitive streak. Austin takes a different approach, driven by passion and personality. It's the new home of professional soccer with Austin FC, a team that has turned game nights into citywide events. Formula One's Circuit of the Americas brings global eyes to the city every year, proving that Austin can host world-class sports while keeping its creative, festival-style energy intact. Its rise in pro sports mirrors its rise in everything else. Fast, loud, and full of momentum. San Antonio's sports story starts and ends with loyalty. The Spurs are more than just a basketball team. They're part of the city's DNA. 5 championships built a legacy of teamwork and excellence that defines the city's values. The fan base is famously devoted, and the Spurs' influence extends far beyond the court. San Antonio also supports soccer, boxing, and minor league baseball, showing how deeply sports are woven into everyday life. Together, these cities form the backbone of Texas sports. Houston brings legacy. Dallas delivers dominance. Austin brings new energy. And San Antonio defines heart. Each one represents a different side of Texas pride. But when it comes to passion, competition, and identity, they're all playing for the same team. Transit, travel, and reach. How Texas connects the world. Transportation is the circulatory system of any major city, and in Texas, it's what keeps the state's massive economy moving. The ability to connect people, goods, and ideas isn't just convenience, it's power. The bigger and better the network, the more influence a city holds. Each of Texas's major metros plays a crucial role in linking the state to the rest of the world. Dallas-Fort Worth leads the way with DFW International Airport, one of the busiest on the planet. It connects to hundreds of destinations and serves as a hub for both domestic and international traffic. The airport's scale mirrors the region's growth. A business traveler can leave Dallas in the morning and land in almost any major world city by night. The surrounding highway network reinforces that accessibility, linking the metro to every corner of the state with remarkable efficiency. Houston follows close behind, home to George Bush Intercontinental Airport and William P. Hobby Airport. Together, they form one of the most important air systems in the United States. Houston's global connections reach every continent, fueled by its energy, shipping, and medical industries. The Port of Houston adds another layer, ranking among the top in the nation for international trade. This combination of air, sea, and ground access makes Houston not just a Texas hub, but a global one. Austin's growth has brought huge upgrades to its infrastructure. Austin Bergstrom International Airport continues to expand, adding new international routes and larger terminals to match the city's booming population, and tech sector. Major highways now link the city more efficiently with Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston, creating a triangle of rapid mobility across central Texas. Even as traffic challenges persist, the city's expansion plans show its long-term commitment to connectivity. San Antonio's transportation system blends regional access with growing global reach. San Antonio International Airport handles increasing passenger traffic each year, while its central location makes it a key connector between South Texas and the rest of the state. The city's proximity to Mexico adds another strategic layer, reinforcing its position as a gateway for trade, culture, and tourism. Together, These networks form the infrastructure of modern Texas. Dallas moves the business world. Houston moves the global market. Austin moves innovation. And San Antonio moves history and culture. The state's transportation web doesn't just move people from place to place. It moves Texas forward, one flight, one shipment, and one highway at a time. The Texas identity factor. Which city defines the spirit of the state? Beyond numbers, skylines, and stats, there's something deeper that makes a city feel major. Its identity. The Texas identity isn't just about where the biggest buildings are or who has the largest airport. It's about which cities capture the essence of what Texas represents to the rest of the world. Independence, pride, ambition, and a little bit of rebellion. Every major Texas city carries that identity differently, shaping the story of the state in its own voice. Houston reflects the modern face of Texas. Diverse, global, and relentlessly ambitious. It's a city that never stops moving, blending cultures from across the world while staying rooted in its Texas grit. Houston shows that being Texan isn't limited to one background or lifestyle. It's a fusion of perspectives where barbecue and biryani can exist on the same block, and where energy innovation meets blue-collar toughness. Dallas captures the image of success and sophistication that many outsiders associate with Texas. Its polished downtown, booming economy, and strong business culture create a sense of confidence that feels larger than life. The city carries itself with pride and precision, showing the world a Texas that's bold, forward-thinking, and unafraid to lead. It's a modern take on classic Texas ambition. High-rise suits instead of cowboy hats, but the same fearless drive underneath. Austin represents the creative heartbeat of the state. It's tech-driven, youthful, and unpredictable, yet still deeply connected to its local spirit. The city's culture thrives on individuality. From music and film to food trucks and startups, Austin shows the side of Texas that embraces change while holding on to authenticity, proving that progress and personality can coexist. San Antonio is the soul of Texas. It preserves the history, heritage, and warmth that define the state's roots. Its architecture, traditions, and celebrations remind everyone where Texas came from. The city's mix of cultures, languages, and traditions paints a picture of Texas at its most human. Proud of its past, welcoming in its present, and hopeful for its future. Together, these cities form the complete Texas identity. Houston brings global energy. Dallas shows ambition. Austin fuels creativity. And San Antonio grounds it all with history and heart. Each one represents a different piece of what it means to be Texan. And together, they remind the world why this state and its cities feel larger than life. The scoring breakdown, ranking the majors of Texas. After looking at population, economy, culture, skylines, sports, and connectivity, the picture starts to come into focus. Each city checks different boxes, and no single one dominates across all categories. But when the numbers, influence, and identity come together, patterns start to form, revealing which cities stand at the top of Texas's hierarchy and which ones are just a step below. Houston consistently ranks near the top in almost every measurable category. It leads in population, port traffic, and economic power, and its cultural diversity gives it a unique edge that no other city in the state can match. Houston feels like the heartbeat of Texas's global identity. the city that embodies ambition and opportunity at scale. It's hard to imagine any major Texas cities list without it taking the #1 spot. Dallas-Fort Worth comes in strong, just behind Houston. Its corporate presence, international airport, and sleek skyline make it one of the most influential metros in the entire country. The economy here is enormous, spreading across dozens of industries with national reach. Dallas doesn't just grow, it multiplies. Its dominance in sports, business, and connectivity cements its place as a defining symbol of modern Texas success. Austin ranks next, climbing higher every year. Its growth is fast, its tech presence is undeniable, and its culture has become the state's creative engine. Austin may not have the skyscrapers or team rosters of Houston or Dallas, but its innovation and lifestyle appeal make it impossible to ignore. The city has built a reputation that extends far beyond Texas, shaping national conversations around creativity, sustainability, and progress. San Antonio takes a solid position as the anchor of tradition. While it doesn't top the charts in GDP or global recognition, its historical importance and cultural depth give it a kind of weight that statistics can't capture. San Antonio is the emotional core of Texas, a reminder that progress means little without heritage. Its steady population growth and expanding industries show that it's still building momentum in its own quiet way. If you were to total everything up, from numbers and influence to identity and pride, the results would be close, but the ranking becomes clear. Houston leads, Dallas-Fort Worth follows, Austin continues to rise, and San Antonio holds steady as the guardian of the state's roots. Together, they form the 4 pillars of Texas's urban power, each city strong on its own, but unstoppable as a group shaping the state's future. Final verdict: the 4 major Texas cities. After weighing every factor, population, economy, culture, skyline, sports, and connectivity, the results tell a clear story about which cities truly define modern Texas. The title of major isn't about who shouts the loudest, but who stands the tallest across all these dimensions. When the data and identity align, 4 cities clearly rise above the rest. Houston takes the top position as the state's undisputed powerhouse. It's the most populous, the most globally connected, and the most economically diverse city in Texas. From its energy dominance to its massive port and multicultural influence, Houston doesn't just represent Texas. It represents the future of urban America. It's where ambition meets scale, and that combination keeps it at the top of every list. Dallas-Fort Worth earns its spot right alongside Houston. Its economy rivals entire nations, with corporate headquarters, global air routes, and a booming population that shows no sign of slowing down. The metro's confidence and sleek modern image make it a beacon of prosperity. Dallas has mastered the art of reinvention while keeping its Texas roots intact, making it one of the strongest contenders for global recognition. Austin claims the 3rd spot through momentum alone. What once felt like a college town is now a world-class tech hub, a center for creativity, and a magnet for new talent. Its cultural energy, innovation-driven economy, and forward-thinking mindset have made it one of the most influential cities in the country. Austin embodies the modern side of Texas, ambitious, smart, and unafraid to break tradition. San Antonio completes the 4, holding its ground with quiet strength. Its deep historical heritage, thriving tourism, and strong community identity make it the heart of Texas culture. While it doesn't chase the spotlight like Houston or Dallas, it represents the roots that built the state's foundation. San Antonio's stability, authenticity, and timeless character make it irreplaceable in defining what Texas truly is. Together, these four cities, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, and San Antonio, form the pillars of Texas. They're not just the largest. They're the ones that shape the state's economy, identity, and influence. Each has its own lane, its own energy, and its own claim to greatness. When people talk about Texas, these are the names that come up first, the cities that define both where the state has been and where it's headed next. Texas isn't one story. It's four. After looking at everything, the numbers, the culture, the skylines, and the spirit, it's easy to see that defining major isn't just about population or money, it's about presence. Tex isn't built on one kind of greatness. It's built on four very different kinds that together tell one story. Houston drives the economy. Dallas fuels ambition. Austin creates the future. And San Antonio protects the soul. They're all major in their own way. And maybe that's the real lesson. Texas doesn't need one crown jewel. It thrives because it has four. What's interesting is how this debate never really ends. Every few months, a new statistic, a new skyline photo, or a new company relocation reignites the question. That's what makes Texas so fascinating. It keeps evolving. The conversation isn't about who wins. It's about how the state keeps redefining what success looks like. From tech growth to cultural movements, each city is shaping the next version of Texas in real time. The lines between them blur more with every highway expansion and corporate merger, yet the rivalry keeps everything moving forward. So maybe the real takeaway is that there's no single right answer. There's only perspective. The four major cities work together like parts of one massive engine. Each driving a different gear. Houston provides scale. Dallas brings precision. Austin pushes innovation. And San Antonio preserves tradition. Without one, the rest wouldn't feel complete. That's what makes Texas so unique. It's a collection of cities that compete fiercely yet succeed together. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Which four cities make your list? Do you think Fort Worth deserves to bump one out? Or does El Paso belong in the conversation? Drop your version of the Texas 4 in the comments and defend your picks. Just be ready for the arguments, because that's half the fun. If you enjoy exploring how cities grow, change, and define identity, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into urban life across America. Every view, every comment, and every debate helps keep these conversations going. Because in the end, figuring out what makes a city major isn't just about Texas. It's about understanding how places, people, and pride shape the story of the country itself.